Hello and welcome again to High Desert Home and Garden. Today since we're moving here shortly, we're gonna address an issue that is kind of prevalent with all old trucks. There's just no place to tie anything down in the bed. Um, I have two of these 95 F-250s, and they used to make all kinds of stuff you could put in your stake pockets here, and kind of a rubber plug that had a nut on it, like an expansion plug that you could tighten down into your stake pockets, and then it had a place to hook a strap. Well, I've come to find that they don't make anything like that anymore. And, yeah, so we're going to put a headache rack and bed rails on this thing. I have here my used headache rack, basically, and it came off of this 95 that I'm going to be getting rid of. So you can see I've got my rack and bed rails here. They're all one piece. Only issue is the truck that it came off of, this one right next to us here, had a bit of an accident with a gooseneck trailer. Well, like enough of an accident that it pretty much ripped the whole side of the bed off. And as you can see, this thing suffered a bit as well. Now, I don't have a welder personally, but I know people who do, so not going to be a big deal. First things first though, we're going to get as much of the old paint and stuff knocked off of the whole assembly, I guess you could say, the whole headache rack and everything, and get it prepped for paint, and then we will load this on the truck and take it someplace and weld it, or get it welded, one or the other. But yeah, it's cracked not only on this piece, but up through here, and around on this side also. And then around on the front here, I find this one pretty interesting. It's got a freeze crack, basically, in this piece of tubing. So I'm going to have to look around, like right there. That's a good place where water's been getting into it. So we'll probably have to stow that up just a little bit too. And I'll probably knock that back in flat and weld that up too while I'm at it, just so it doesn't happen again. But yeah, so this is going to be my project for the next couple of days anyway. But yeah, first things first, we're just going to take wire wheel on a grinder and knock as much of the old paint and dirt and stuff off of it as I can. Alright, so yeah, anyway, been outside grinding on this thing for quite a while. It's starting to rain and kind of trying to snow right now, so I guess I better pull the truck out and put this thing inside so I don't have to do it over again. But anyway, yeah. So, the old paint and stuff's coming off a lot better than I really thought it would. That's a good thing. I was expecting the grinding part of this to take a couple of days. But anyway, I better get it in where it's dry before I have to do it over again. Alright, so we've got pretty much everything cleaned up that we can reach without cutting anything apart, which is about as far as I'm willing to go. You can see, like there, a lot of the paint, pretty much all the paint came off. It's still a little pitted and what have you, but it's not bad. Got the inside pretty much good enough, and I ground out this corner here, this piece. I can't get to it to grind it without cutting things apart, which again I said I'm not willing to do at the moment. So we'll get this welded up, but first we're gonna stand this thing up or possibly flip it over. I don't know which I'm gonna do just yet, but either way we're gonna do something. Flip it over probably so we can clean out the underside of these rails here. There's bound to be a bunch of rust and stuff in there. I haven't really looked at it yet. Either way, it's been sitting on the ground for quite a while, so we need to get that cleaned off too, and that way we can paint the whole thing instead of just the top side. But anyway, let's get it flipped or whatever I'm going to do here and get back to it. Alright, so as you can see, I decided I was just going to flip the thing over so I could get the underside cleaned up. Again, it's not as beautiful as the rest of it, just because, well, it's the underside. It'll be alright. Notice I probably might notice I'm using a different camera. Just we'll cover that too, I guess, while we're here. So yeah, that happened. I knocked it over. And this one doesn't want to focus because it's a piece of crap too. But anyway, I knocked this one over, and as you may guess, the little screen doesn't work anymore, so I won't know what I'm pointing at. But anyway, now I just need to get a welder so I can finish the task here, and then we can get on into painting it. Get it all painted up and ready to go, and hopefully we'll get this thing on the truck here by Tuesday. It's now Sunday, but anyway, just a little bit more continuing of the process. Thanks for watching. Okay, so my phone camera does not like sunshine at all. But anyway, we've got our little welding repair done here. I had to use a little flux cord wire welder, so beggars can't be choosers, but it's definitely not pretty. It'll do the job though, I think. And I also welded this up here and ground it back off so that we wouldn't have that crack in that upright. And yeah, I tried to plug that gap right there. So anyway, as I said, just a little flux cord wire welder is all I was using. You can set this one up to run gas and all that good stuff, but it's not yeah, I don't have all that stuff. As I said, I borrowed this machine, so is what it is, and it's good enough for what I did with it. Otherwise, I really couldn't recommend it. It's kind of made for exhaust work is about it. Anyway, now I have to return. Dropping everything. Now I have to return the welder and go get some paint. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll go back to this project in a bit. Okay. Well, anyway, I got a new camera and ended up having a bad card. So I had a whole bunch of different little snippets of video along the way of this process. But as I said, I had a bad card, so I don't have them anymore. Kind of aggravating, but anyway, it is all cleaned up, all painted. Took 2 cans of the Rust-Oleum hammered black paint to cover it, but it did cover it. I was kind of happy with that. That way I don't have to go back and get more paint. Anyway, as I said, it's all cleaned up, all painted, and it looks decent as best I can tell anyway. We don't have exactly the best lighting in here. So, yeah. But anyway, this nifty little camera comes with a couple of different mounts. One's a head mount. Won't fit on my head, but at least it has a head mount. And anyway, I think our next step is going to be installing it once it's dried up, which hopefully it's probably dry by now, actually. And, well, let's just check and see. It's pretty dry if you ask me. Anyway, we'll get the truck in here and kind of get started mounting the thing. So, yeah, we'll get back in a minute. Alright, so we've got the thing sitting on the truck, as you can see. And the truck inside, because it can't make up its mind whether it's going to rain or sunshine today. But, anyway, it's in here. Now this thing comes with pre-drilled mounting holes, as you can see. It's got 6 bolts. I'm thinking about doing 8 and putting 2 in the front of the bed also. We'll see. So yeah, anyway, now we got to drill some holes and put some bolts in and go from there. So I've got my drill set up here. Got my ratchet and socket. Oh, and my bolts. I think you guys ought to be able to see, but we'll drop it down a little bit. There we go, that'll be better. Now this is just a 3/8 bit, and we're going to put 3/8 bolts in it. Easy to drill, at least. That's always a good sign. And then I got some 3/8 fine thread grade 5 bolts. Some hard washers. If I can get into the bag. If I can get into the bag. Worst come to worst, use your teeth, I guess. Washer inside and out. And I didn't have lock nuts, so I guess we'll have to see about some of those. But they are fine threaded bolts, so I should be able to get them really tight without much effort. tight enough. So I'm just going to do this side real quick, and then the other side I'm going to have to force in a little bit. So I'll get back to you when we try and figure out how we're going to do that. Alright, so this is the driver's side of the truck between the cab and the bed, and as you can see there, we have about 1 7/8 inches between the back of the cab and the headache rack. Interesting. We come around here to the other side. And could be just because my bed's so screwed up, but anyway, we go to about the same spot, and we're at 3 1/8 roughly. So we got to figure a way to pull this forward and hold it while I put bolts in it. Anyway, let me figure something out. Okay, so as you can see here, I did some creative rigging with a ratchet strap, and I actually went to the front shock mount and one of the posts on our the headache rack. So I've got it pulled in to where it matches the driver's side now, so it's 1 7/8 inches also. You just will find any way to snag yourself in something, won't you? Anyway, so now all I got left is to put the 3 bolts in this side, and then we should be good to go pretty much. But anyway, we'll maybe wait for a sunny day and get a picture of the outside, what it looks like outside. But I'm really liking the way it looks on there myself. To each their own, but you know, this is more or less for nothing else than to make tie downs on this truck that are actually accessible and usable, because that's been one of my biggest issues with the thing is tying to the bed rail and then bending it or whatever. And as I said, I am a professional mechanic, so I have a rather large toolbox that I'm going to have to haul, and that thing right there is going to have to do it. So it should work out. At any rate, at least it'll be better than nothing. So let me get the rest of these bolts in here, and we'll kind of do a little bit of an overview on it. Alright, so it's on there, and not real sure about the color, but we'll have to wait for a sunny day to find out. Again, the only real reason why I wanted it on here is because there was no place to strap anything down in this truck. Over here on the dark side, it kind of looks black to me, and then you come over on the light side. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but it kind of looks brown, so I really don't know what it is exactly, but anyway, it'll work with kind of what I'm getting at. It'll serve its intended purpose, let's put it that way. I like I like being able to haul stuff in the bed of a truck. That's why I have a truck. That's why I have an 8-foot bed on a truck. That way, and I don't have to have a trailer everywhere I go. What's that?
I never had one on these trucks.
You never had one on these trucks?
No.
Well, I'm sure you haven't.
No.
Anyway, I think Raylan tested and Raylan approved, so we're good. That's all for now. If you liked the video, please comment, rate, and subscribe. Again, I apologize, I lost some of it, but it wasn't really anything important. It was just me using a rattle can. So anyway, guys, we'll see you later. Thanks.
Bye.